friends, welcome back to the Homestead Skill of the Month Club. I've taken a week off and I'm much rested because of it. I had intended to take a little breath between the month on old-fashioned cooking and this month 3, which begins today on garden soil and seeds. My breath extended a little bit as I actually ended up laid up with just a bad head cold this week. It's the first one I've had all winter, so I'm not complaining, and I do feel much better for the rest. I think it was just been going for months, so at some point a person has to take a rest, and if you don't do it, then sometimes your body will make you. But I'm back now and very happy to be back. First of all, an announcement going forward with the Skill of the Month Club, which is, of course, our opportunity to gather some multiple minds around one topic per month, all sharing the goal of simple life, self-sufficiency, or just being the most capable and confident and compassionate and happy people we possibly can be. I have actually intended for this to be the case, but I wasn't sure I could pull it off, and we did. I have all sorts of people now who are willing to help, and because of that, I am no longer going to be doing 4 lectures, 1 per week, for every single skill. It's too much for me and a bit much for everybody else as well. So I'll be doing 1 lecture per month, 1 sit down and try to give you information as quickly as I can kind of lecture per month. And then the rest of the month will be all sorts of guests and other people with knowledge that I don't necessarily have, so that we can spotlight different perspectives and really gather all of our knowledge into a pool for maximum mutual aid. Today is Garden Soil and Seeds. I'm going to be sharing a book recommendation, a couple of book recommendations actually. I'm going to be talking a great deal about seeds, and I'm going to be trying to give you a sense of the entire month. As the month progresses here on the Esther Emery channel, you may see some stuff you haven't seen in a couple months. I might be able to work my way up to a Thursday talk. There may be some more personal content as well. And there will be all sorts of tutorials with guests that will be marked Skill of the Month Club, so you won't be missing anything. We just have all the different voices. And as I said before, this has always been my hope. It's a kind of a heavy load to pull this whole thing and do every video every Thursday, but I had hoped that it would catch on and people would volunteer to help, which indeed is happening. And with that said, if you are a video maker or someone who lives near me and would like to share a skill, please feel free to message me. I don't know for sure that I can get everybody in, but I sure will try. And you know, I'm kind of fierce like that. I might just be able to pull it off. Well, enough nuts and bolts. Let's get to the topic at hand, which is garden, soil, and seeds. I'm going to begin with my monthly book recommendation. Now, since gardening is something that's very particular to a specific location, there are lots of great books out there, and I'm actually going to list some different books down below that might be the right book for you. And I'm going to take the opportunity to share with you my take on one of the kind of grand encyclopedias out there, a self-sufficiency manual called The New Complete Book of Self-Sufficiency by John Seymour. Now this book is a companion in some ways to my mother's book, which I've mentioned here many times. My mother's book is the Encyclopedia of Country Living. This was the complete book of self-sufficiency and then re-released as the new complete book of self-sufficiency by John Seymour. There's a number of encyclopedic works on the market for those who are interested in self-sufficiency, and since I always do love to be positive, I've picked one of my favorites to share with you. John Seymour has kind of a dry wit, a very intelligent person. He actually passed away just a year before my mother did, and he was most of his life in England. So he has similar climate actually to North America. And so this book has been very useful for me as a gardener, but also kind of inspirational and encouraging to me as someone who is in pursuit of self-sufficiency. So as we're doing Garden, Soil, and Seeds, this is my book recommendation, John Seymour's The New Complete Book of Self-Sufficiency. I also want to show you this book, John Seymour, The New Self-Sufficient Gardener. Now, the different encyclopedias of self-sufficiency that are out there will showcase different strengths. And if you can look at these 2 books kind of on end, you'll see that the new Self-Sufficient Gardener is actually, I'm going to say 80% of the book. Okay, so about 80% of this is this. So the reason why I wanted to share the new complete book of self-sufficiency in our gardening month is that gardening definitely was John Seymour's strong point. When he talked about self-sufficiency, he meant food self-sufficiency, and that really was his key area of expertise. So if you were to get this book, The New Self-Sufficient Gardener, you wouldn't be missing too much that's also in this book. Although it is nice to have this because you hear some of his theory, some of his perspective, and it's always fun to hear from someone who's made extreme or significant choices in their lifestyle, why they did it, and how they were motivated. So that's my book recommendation. John Seymour, who is sometimes called the father of self-sufficiency, wise, witty person with a lot of information to share. As we're talking about seed saving, I'm also going to be recommending this book by Warnock, which is particular to the subject of seed saving. It's kind of a slim volume, very simple, very easy to read. And I've been looking for a book exactly like this one because it's organized by the type of plant. So you can just look up cucumber and you can see the characteristics and the strategies for saving seeds. And I've been looking for that. A couple things to know about this in case it's not the book for you. It is a religious person's perspective, and although that is never mentioned, people who know will know. So if that bothers you, then maybe find another book. There are lots of great seed-saving books out there. And then the other thing about this is that he does run a seed company. And so these are, in some ways, this is instructions to go with his own seeds, and in some ways this is an advertisement for his own seeds. For me, that's not a disadvantage because I actually like to support his organization. I think they do great work and they have great seeds. But it can be a little annoying when you're looking up leeks or you're looking up kale and then there's a recommended variety that links back to his own website. So couple warnings that this may not be the perfect book for you, but also I am here recommending it because it is the perfect book for me and I'm loving it. Now that I've made my book recommendations, I can tell you a bit about what happens for the rest of the month. I am going to say a few words here about seeds today, and particularly the difference between heirloom and open pollinated or hybrid seeds, possibly a few words about the wonderful and extensive art of saving your own seeds. We're also going to have some tutorials this weekend about sprouting seeds, possibly some conversation about seed storage as well, but mostly an encouragement, especially to folks who haven't developed confidence with this before, sprouting seeds indoors. Next week we'll talk about starting seeds indoors for planting out later into your garden. And there will be one tutorial on planting in containers and another on the soil block technique and technology. Then our third week we'll be talking about gardening methods. There's a local friend and YouTube channel, Chris of Home Place Journal, who's going to be talking to us a little bit about different gardening methods and her extensive experience. And then our fourth week we're finally going to get to soil. Timed, I hope, in terms of me actually being able to see my soil, because I'd love to go through a soil test kit with all of you. So that gives you an idea of what's coming next. Now, finally, a few words about seeds.